Hey everybody, life, as I always say, has a way of bringing all kinds of things into our experiences. And trials and tribulations are not always foreign to you and to me as a Christian. I think we call that adversity. Some people call it storms that comes in our lives. And ultimately when those storm comes, our response are very important. And what's our attitude towards those times of trials and those times of tribulation? Well, the Bible tells us the way we need to respond towards those trials and tribulations. And it's in the book of James, the epistle of James, the first chapter. And James said it very well. He said, consider it pure joy. And he said, it's interesting. He said, consider it pure joy when you go through trials of different kind. What James is trying to say to you and to me is that when we go through life's storms, life's adversities, our response should be that of joy. Our response should be that of thankfulness. As you begin to look at it, you might say to yourself, how can I respond in joy when I just lost my son? How can I respond in joy when my home has been foreclosed? How can I respond in joy when my job has just been gone and I've been laid off and I just got a pink slip? It's tough. How can I respond in joy? But I believe that we can respond in joy because what James said next. Because James was trying to tell us in that epistle that in our adversity, in our trial, God is working something out that we don't really see. That God is ultimately in control. God is using that trial and tribulation to shape us, to mold us, to make us complete, and to make us into the person that He desires us to be. Oh yes, trials and adversity are not always comfortable. They are not always very pleasant. Many of us respond at times with disbelief, some of us with anger, at times some of us accuse God of injustice. But ultimately, God has a purpose in our trials and adversity. That's why we got to more or less look at God when those adversity comes, rather than to look at the adversity. We must look at what God is doing behind the scene. I always call our adversity like a tsunami. When a tsunami occurs, you never know because it takes place under the sea. But sooner or later, you begin to see the effect on land as the waves continue to come by. And at times, our adversity might be like a tsunami. It might come to us first, real big, but there is a tsunami, what God is doing that we don't see, that's on the bottom. And before long, you'll be able now to see the grace. You'll be able to see the reward. You'll be able to see the shaping that God brings out from that adversity that has come into our lives. But again, remember, in adversity, have a positive attitude because you know the God you serve is working behind the scene to complete you and to make you whole in your adversity. I'll see you tomorrow.